Question 1. I think this is the one you're doing. Yeah, this is. Ed and Carl are brothers. Their sum of their ages and their fathers is 61. So I'm going. Well, let me first identify our cast here. Ed, Carl, and we have Dad. Right, father. We know some of their ages is 61, but we don't know anything else. What do you call? Let's represent them. Their ages as it's given to us. So Ed is 5 years older than Carl. The father's 6 times old as Carl. So everybody's being represented in terms of Carl. So Carl is my x. Ed is 5 years older than Carl, so Ed is x plus 5. And Dad is 6 times as old as Carl, so he's 6x. Now, it's just a matter of setting up the equation. So we know that the sum of the 3 ages, here's Ed, here's Carl, and here's Dad. And that gives you 61. Combine like terms. We got 8x plus 5 equals 61. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. And 8x equals 56. Divide by 8. X equals 7. So makes Carl 7 years old, makes Dad 42 years old, and makes Ed 12 years old. And if you actually add them up, you actually get 61. So that matches our story. 2, we have Ray and Sig. Ray's 2 years younger than Sig. So how old is Sig? Well, we don't know how old Sig is, so we'll call him X, and we call Ray X minus 2. So whatever Sig is, he is 2 years younger. Okay, so let's set up our equation. 3 times Sig's age, which is X, subtracted from 5 times Ray age, which is X minus 2, parentheses, equals Sig's age. So, big warning, flashing light here, subtracted from, we have to switch the order here. That actually becomes 5x minus 2, times x, parentheses, minus 2, minus 3x equals x. So now it's just, what do you call, solving, right? So, distributive property, I get 5x minus 10 minus 3x equals x. Can I combine like terms? Yes, I can combine these two fellas. So I get 2x minus 10 equals x. We have variables on both sides, so let's get rid of one of these guys. So let's get rid of this guy here. So minus x on that side. Put a wall there. Minus x on this side. And I get x minus 10 equals 0. If I add 10 to both sides, I'll write it over here. I get x equals 10. So that makes Sig 10 years old and Ray 10 minus 2, he becomes 8. Right, so be careful with the subtracted from. Find 2 consecutive integers. So 2 consecutive integers, let's call the first one x, the second one x plus 2. And now, so this is consecutive integers number 1, this is my second number. Such that twice the smaller one is obviously x, so 2 times the smaller one is equal 26 less than means subtraction, 3 times the larger one, which is x plus 2. And again, less than, be careful, so 2x equals 3, I forgot the parentheses here, it's 3, x plus 2, minus 26, 2x equals distributive property 3x plus 6 minus 26. 2x equals combine like term. You can combine these two guys. So that's 3x minus positive 6 minus 26 is 20. We can get rid of, there's a variable on both sides of the equal sign, so one of them have to go. Minus 2x, that's going to go. So minus 2x on this side. These two go away, I get 0. And then 3x minus 2x is x, minus 20. Add 20 to both sides, and x equals 20. So that makes first number 20, second number 22. If you have time, you can take that and plug 20 over here, plug 20 over here, and what do you call? Do your check, right? 4, the greater of two numbers. So if there's a greater, there's one that's not greater. So let's call one number greater and the other one smaller. All right, so the greater one is 2, the greater of two numbers, greater one is 1 less than 3 times the small. So this guy is 1 less than 3 times the smaller. And the smaller one we'll call x. Careful, we have to switch that, and that eventually becomes 3x minus 1. Now that I identify both of my numbers, I can set up my equation. That says 3 times the greater, which is 3x minus 1, is, or equals, 5 more than plus 8 times the smaller. All right, so we get 3 above, we get 9x minus 3 equals 5 plus 8x. Minus 8x on this side, minus 8x on this side. Sorry, oops. 9x minus 8x is x, minus 3 equals 5, because these two become 0, plus 3 on both sides. X equals 8. All right, so far, not too much, I hope, of a problem. Let's see, a mother's 28 years old, older than her daughter in 4 years. The mother will be 3 times as old as the daughter. How old is the mother now? So let's call this mom. Let's call this daughter. Right now the mom. So right now the mom is 28 years on the daughter. The daughter, let's call her x. So mom's age would be 28 plus x. In 4 years, plus 4, mom will be 28 plus 4, 32 plus x. And the daughter will be x plus 4. Yeah. Now, using the relationship in 4 years, we can set up the equation. And in 4 years, the mom, which is 32 plus x, right? That's how old she is. She will be 3 times as old as the daughter, which is x plus 4. So that's my equation. 32 plus x, 3x plus 12, minus x on both sides. I get 32 equals 2x plus 12. I subtract 12 from both sides, 12 from both sides. And I get 2x equals, what is that, 20. Divide by 2, divide by 2. And x equals 10. So the daughter's age is 10, which makes mom 38. Daughter age is 10, and then mom will be 28 plus 10, which makes her 38 years of age. Six is a little tricky. I hope you. A little tricky. So we got Ron and his older wife. Sorry. Hang on a second. Ron is 6 years older than his wife, Bev. In 4 years, twice his age plus 1 will be 3 times Bev's age 3 years ago. And I'm gonna put a little star here. Warning. Put another star. So let's set this up. So we got Ron and wife. Right now, Ron is 6 years older than the wife Bev. So let's call wife X. Ron is 6 years older than her, so he would be X plus 6. In 4 years, Ron would be X plus 6 plus 4, which is just going to be X plus 10. And the wife is going to be X plus 4, right? Whatever she is today, plus 4. But we also need another column here. I'll call it the minus 3 column, 3 years ago, because look, I need eventually when I get to setting up my equation, it says here 3 times Bev's age 3 years ago. Well, I don't have that set up yet, so I'm going to set it up. So 3 years ago, Bev is whatever she is today, minus 3. We don't care about the husband 3 years ago, so I can leave that empty. Now, let's see if I can set up an equation. In 4 years, twice his age. So twice his age in 4 years. So I'm going to use this guy here, Ron's age in 4 years, 2 times x plus 10. Oops. 2 times twice his age, 2 times x plus 10, plus 1, so far so good, equals 3 times Bev's age 3 years ago. And this is what I need to use. Bev's age 3 years ago. 3 times her age 3 years ago. That's the equation. Don't use x plus 4 because that's her year. That's her age 4 years from now, which is not what they want. Distributed property, distributed property, distributed property, distributed property. So 2x plus 20 plus 1 equals 3x minus 9. I get 2x plus 21 equals 3x minus 9. The variables on both sides, one of them have to go. This guy's going to go. That's 21. 3x minus 2x is x minus 9. Plus 9 on both sides. That goes away. X equals 30. So, how old are they now? Wife is 30 years old, which makes Ron just a little bit older. 36. Now, the question here at the bottom, number 7, is more of you clearing the fractions than anything. Okay, it's a solve and check problem, so this will take some of your time away. If I multiply everything by 4, right, I'll get, let's see, 416 goes 1. I'll get 256. I'll get rid of this 4, and I'll get rid of that 4. But when I multiply this, will I still get a fraction? No, so I can actually do that. So let's multiply everything by 4. Because if I, after clearing this, right, let's say I multiply everything by 4 and cleared it, if I had gotten a fraction, let's say this was, I don't know, weird number like 7, then I would have done the distributive property and then clear the fraction. Okay. But in this case, you know what? I'll clear the fraction later. 64, let's do this. Negative 15 over 4 times 2m is going to be negative 30m over 4. And then negative times a negative, so distributive property, this is what I'm doing. Negative times a negative is a positive. 15 times 2 is 30, and at the bottom, 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, and then minus 11 over 4m. Now, like I said, you had choices. Now my common denominator is 12, so I'm going to multiply everything by 12. So I'm going to take this and multiply by 12. Then take that and multiply by 12. So, now I get a big number. Maybe that wasn't such a great idea. It's okay. 12 times 64, I get 768 equals, let's see, 90, negative 90m, because again, here's my distributive property. So what I'm doing is I divided 12 by 4, which is 3, and then 3 times 30, which is 90. Positive times a positive is going to be a positive. 12 divided by 12 is just 1, so that gives me 30. I forgot the m here. And the last one, 12 divided by 4 is 3, times 11, 33. I can combine some like terms. 90 and 33 is 123, negative 123m, plus 30. Now it's just a two-step equation. I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides, and I get negative 123m, and on the other side, 738. I divide both sides by negative 123, and I get 738 divided by 123 equals 6. So I get that these two go away, and m equals negative 6. Well, that's worked out nicely. I can get a fraction as a number. M equals negative 6. Keep that in mind. I'm going to go back to my original equation and check. So I'm going to replace 2, and I'll multiply that by negative 6 minus 2/3 minus 11 over 4 times negative 6. So hopefully this will work out. So nothing to do on the left side. Over here, Let's work inside the parentheses first. So negative 15 over 4. So 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. And then minus 2/3. It just gives me, let's see, negative 12 and 2/3. Do I want to leave my answer like that? Right. So negative 12 and 2/3. I have it. You can have a calculator. And then minus 11 over 4 times negative 6 is going to be positive because a negative times a negative. And this is just a 2 and this is just a 3. So that just becomes 33 over 2. So let's multiply that and see if I get. So I'm going to, on my calculator, negative 15 over 4 times negative 12 and 2/3. That's going to give me a very ugly number, 47 and a half. 47 and a half. Okay, stop. So that's negative 6 minus 12 and 3 and negative 6. Okay, 1 second. What did I do wrong? Well, let's just see. Yeah, something's going to be wrong. Something's not right. 2, negative 6 minus 1 is negative 12. Negative 12 minus negative 12 and 2/3, that's okay. Okay, I'm going to go back, see what I did wrong. Because I can't find it. So let me go back to my, and you guys can fast forward. Did I? Okay, so let me just double check here. Is it negative 6? Yeah. I found a mistake. Yeah, I found a mistake, guys. Sorry. Hold it, has to go back. Alright, starting from scratch. 64 equals, and then I'm going to multiply here. That becomes 1 over 2, negative 15 over 2, and this was my mistake right here. Then positive over here, and 30 over 12, minus 11 over 4m. Clear everything, multiply everything by 12. And multiply this whole side by 12 as well. And 12 times 64 equals 768, so that was okay. And we're going to get 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 times 15 is going to be 90, negative 90, plus 30. I forgot the m again. And then 12 divided by 4 is 3, minus 33m. 768 equals, well, hang on a second, 123, negative 123m, plus 30, minus 30 on both sides. You get 738 equals negative 123m, divided by negative 123m. Okay, what am I? 123 equals 6, negative 6, m equals negative 6. Alright, got the same answer again, right? Okay, 6. No, I'm good. Looks good. So m equals negative 6. 4. This is negative 6. So 2 times negative 6 is negative 12 minus 2/3 minus 11 over 4 times negative 6. 64 equals, well, this is negative 15 over 4 times, oh my god, there was nothing wrong. Negative 12 and 2/3. Mine, this is going to be a positive. So this becomes 3 and 2 plus 33 over 2. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys. 15 over 4. Yuck. I'll multiply that in a calculator. 15 over 4 times 12 and 2/3 equals simp enter, 47.5 positive. There was nothing wrong. And this is 16.5, right? 33 divided by 2 is 16.5. And if you add that to 47.5, you get 64. So there's actually nothing wrong with what I was doing. Oh my god. Okay, anyways, there we go. 8, 2 trains. Let's see if I can draw this out. 2 trains leave stations 360 miles apart at the same time. Okay, so we have a train going this way, a train going this way, and I know the distance between each other is 364. One travels at 50 miles, the other one 55 miles an hour, the other one travels 75. So the one kind of simple, right? So let's call that train A and train B, or if you want to call the faster train or slower train, let me just label that. This will be my 55 mile an hour, and this will be my 75 mile an hour, okay? So, our T and D, train A is 55, train B is 75. Time, I don't know, so right, T over here, and T over here, and the distance is R times T, so this is 55T, and this is 75T. So what you need to know is that when they actually meet, the distance that they both cover is going to be a total of 364 miles. So the equation here is 55t, because the distance of train A plus the distance that train B covers is going to equal 364. What is that? 130t equals 364. Divide both sides by 130, and I have no idea what that is. 364 divided by 130 gives you 2.8 of an hour. Okay, 2.8 hours. Just double checking. Yeah. Nine. So 9's a little bit interesting. 9 and 10 are interesting. Just a slight PDF file. No, it's not. Just want to make myself get a little bit more room. All right. So let's go 9. So Heather is here. Here's a river. Okay, so let's put Heather over here. Okay, she's gonna go take the boat and go upstream, turn around, and go downstream. Okay, it takes her 5 minutes to do this. The current's moving at 3 meters per second, and Heather can paddle at 7 meters per second. So think about this. How far down the river does she go before turning around? The current is moving at a rate of 7 meters per second. So going upstream, you're going against the current, right? So let's call this up and down. and T. Going upstream, she's going against the current. She can just on herself by herself paddle at 7 meters per second. But if she's going against the current, it'll be 7 minus 3. So her speed going up is going to be 4. Now, when she's going downstream, this direction, she's paddling at 7, but the current is also helping her. So her speed is not really 7, but it's going to be 7 plus 3, which makes it 10. So that's the key thing in this particular question. Okay. Give me 1 second here, please. So, and then over here, this is 3 meters per second. Okay, and then the other one is 10 meters per second. It takes her 5 minutes. So the time here, so notice, and I should maybe write this, it's 4 meters per second and 10 meters per second. So her speed is in seconds. So our time needs to be in seconds as well. So it says that this whole trip took 5 minutes. It took 5 minutes to go up and down. So in 5 minutes, in seconds, is 300 seconds. Right, 5 times 60, that's 300 seconds. So let's call the time that she went up the stream, up the river, T. We don't know how long, so let's call it T. Which means downstream, it took her 300 seconds minus however long it took her to go upstream, 300 minus T. Multiply this, 4 times T is 4T, right? And then over here, if we multiply, we have, so think about, we multiply 10 times 300 minus T, and you're going to get, and that's how, oh, sorry. You can just write that like that. What do I know about the distance going up this river and then coming down this river? Well, both distance is the same. Right? It's the same distance up and down. And we get 4T equals 3,000 minus 10T. We have two variables on both sides. Let's do plus 10T, plus 10T. These two go away. I'm left with 14T equals 3,000. Divide both sides by 14. And T equals, this 3,000 divided by 14 gives me 214 seconds. But it's going to be a weird, what do you call? It's going to be a weird, yeah. I'd rather you leave it maybe as this, 1,500 over 7 seconds. Okay, but if you wanted to change it, if you change it to seconds, I mean to decimal, you're gonna get 214.29 seconds rounded, by the way. Okay, so hang on a second, my charger's about to die. So T equals that. We can write, and then we can subtract 300 minus 214, and that's the time, obviously. So it obviously took her much longer time going up than down because she was going against the stream. Now, the question is actually how far down the river did she go before turning around? Well, her speed, think about it, her speed was 4 meters for 1 second, and she traveled at 4 meters per second for how many seconds? For 1,500 over 7 seconds. And if you multiply those two, you get 857.14 meters. That's how far she went up before turning around and coming down. Okay, so there's a lot more to this question, which is a pretty nice question. Okay, a lot more. Sorry, I gotta charge my laptop. And if you, instead of multiplying what do you call 4, right, which is her speed going up, 4 times the fraction value, and if you, let's say you multiply 4 times 214.29 seconds, we get something very similar. 4 times 214.29, you get 857.16. Very slight difference in meters. Okay. That's that for this question. It's a really nice question. Last question. You're on the airplane. Okay. And this is sort of similar to the previous one. You're flying northbound on the plane northbound into the wind. So you're going against the wind. Okay. So let's go into the wind, the direction you're going to. And it takes 4 hours to go to that destination. So into the wind. So meaning it definitely takes you a little longer to get there because you're flying into the wind. Now, on the way home, it says that the wind, on the way home, the flight home with the wind, so you have the wind behind you, okay? It takes 3 hours and 18 minutes. So let's write this down. So you know what, instead of into the wind, so let's write against the wind, I think it's better. So you're flying against the wind. R, T, and D. And with the wind. And the wind speed is 40 miles. So we know that the wind is 40 miles per hour. So when you're going against the wind, it's your rate, whatever your speed is, minus 40, right? Because you're going against the wind. And if you're going with the wind, is whatever your speed is, plus 40, right? Gotta go a little faster. Time-wise, 4 hours. Took you 4 hours to go there. Now we have to express 3 hours and 18. We can't put 3:18, so 3 hours and 18 is, let's see, 3 hours over 60. 3 hours is 180. 180 plus 18 is 198. So 198 over 60. Can we simplify this? Let me just see if I can divide that. Divide by 60. We can write that as 3.3. Right, we want to express that in hours. So 3 hours and 18 minutes is 3.3. So now we can do the sterility property, right? Multiply rate times time, and we get 4 times r minus 40. And over here, we're going to get 3.3 r plus 40. And you could have multiplied already if you want to go ahead and 4r minus 160. And here we get 3.3 r plus whatever that is. 40 times 3.3, and that gives you 132. Okay, so if you just wanted to expand on that. So what is the speed of the plane without any wind? So to find that, what do we know about the distance? Well, if you're going to and from the same location, I know that this distance is equal to each other, so we can go distance going. 4r minus 160. I'm going to take advantage that I already did the sterility property and use this expression. Likewise, I'm going to use the bottom one. And that's equal to 3.3r plus 132. We can get rid of the smaller r. Minus 3.3 minus 3.3 r. These two go away. I'm left with 132 and 32 on the right side. On the left side is 0.7 r minus 160 plus 160 on both sides. I get 292 and 0.7 r. Divide both sides by 0.7, and your speed is, I have no idea, 292 divided by 0.7. The speed of the plane, rounded, we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth. Okay, 417.14 miles an hour. So that was the speed of the plane without any wind. Okay, really nice questions, the last two. Okay, and this is it.